Nobody, absolutely nobody but him. Yeah, that's the assurance that we have. Nobody can do what he does for us.
Nobody.
It's 28 minutes on to the off 7 o'clock. Good morning to you, Grenada, Carrier, Kupiti, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world. How are you doing this morning? How is the morning going thus far? I hope it's going fine as usual, yeah? And it's that time again when we do what we do best. We start your morning off right. Yeah. It's a Friday. Some folks say thank God it's Friday. Well, I thank God for every single day of the week, yeah? Yeah, I do. Once I can get up in the morning, even with the aches and the pains, the health issues, and all the other issues, I believe that the day is going to be a good day, and it usually turns out that way. You know why? It's simply because I think positive thoughts, yeah? And I try my utmost best to surround myself with people who uplifts and, strengthens me and, are nice. Nice. So today I challenge you. If you haven't started as yet, I challenge you today to start doing it. Start thinking positive, happy thoughts. That's where it all starts, yeah? Yeah. Want to say a very special good morning to Mr. and Mrs. Curtis Joseph. Yeah. Good morning to you both. Carla, how are you doing? You're good? Nice. Want to say happy birthday also to Mr. Marinus Roberts out there in Munich in St. Andrew. It's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. And I promise you during the course of the morning I will find you a very special song. Retired worker at the Grenada Postal Corporation. Good morning. Happy birthday to you, man. And also want to shout out happy birthday to a GBN staffer, my good friend, my colleague, Mr. Dorian George. He is celebrating his 17th birthday. Happy birthday to you, Dorian, man. Such a wonderful youngster. A good morning to your parents, your family, relatives, and most importantly, you. Today's your day. Yeah, we'll knock a glass later, all right? I don't think Pastor Newton will be upset if we have a glass of orange juice, yeah? As the Chinese would say, orange do. Oh my goodness. Folks, it's 25 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Let's get into the program this morning. I want to say good morning to you, Mary Ebanks. Merry morning. Good morning to you. And also to you, Yvonne Courtney. Alexandra Velez says, good morning, Grenada, and good morning to all my granddans massive. Good morning to you, Alexandra. Nice. So let's see what's the word of the day today. And the word of the day today is the word apotheosis. Yeah, it is a noun and it is spelled A-P-O-T-H-E-O-S-I-S. Apotheosis. And it means the perfect form or example of something or the highest or best part of something. It can also mean elevation to divine status. So write it down, learn to spell it, learn to pronounce it, but most importantly, learn to use it in a sentence, all right? And in your speech. Nice. Good. We can use it this way. Some consider, however, ironically, French fries to be the apotheosis of a U.S. cuisine. For us, it originally was oil dung. But nowadays, it's being sold in a box. I ain't calling the name because that's promotion and I can be fired for that. We can also say their music reached its creative apotheosis in the late aughts, which is also when they won 2 Grammys. Okay? Nice. And the thought of the day. And every time I come to the thought of the day, my good friend Nadisha out there in Latant, Croshu area comes to mind. Good morning to you, Nadi. Hope you're having a wonderful day. What's on the menu today? Could do with some good cow hill soup, boy. With some nice young blogger and, you know, some not so stiff dumpling. Yeah, and get a few chunks of beef and throw in that as well. Yeah, good. Have a good day. All right, the thought of the day. Negativity is when you always think of what is going to fail. Positivity is when you always think of why it's going to work. Change your mindset to change the result. Think positive thoughts. In the final analysis, that's what it boils down to. Think positive thoughts. Yeah. I want to say good morning to my good friends Pele Dabo, Oswald Pele Dabo, and also Sayodi. Good morning, Sayodi and family. Oswald and family, good morning to you both. Nice. And what's buzzing this morning? All right, the financial services sector came under scrutiny during Wednesday evening's town hall meeting. The burden of doing business with banks was featured prominently. And I wish we can get to talk about that this morning, notwithstanding the fact that we're expecting a guest this morning. We're expecting a representative from the Grenada Association of Retired Persons. Most likely it will be my good friend, Mr. Nicholas Snagg. All right, but nonetheless, we'll try to engage that conversation as best possible this morning. Also making the buzz, Grenada and other Caribbean islands are finally closing the intra-regional travel gap. With the COVID-19 collapse of LIAT and a subsequent reduction in services, leaders across the region have been scratching their heads about how to create interconnectivity. All right, that's a very important topic. We know our beloved Prime Minister, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, he spoke to that early in the game, early in the campaign and throughout the campaign and having taken office. Yeah, intra-regional connectivity is a big concern. The cost of it and the efficiency of it as well. Okay, the government is following the modern ways of the world. It's joining the digital movement as it looks to for different methods to engage the youth. Devices, that's how they connect nowadays. We have to find a technological way to incorporate the devices into agriculture and other sectors if we want them to flourish. Okay, we continue focusing on news of a financial nature. This time we'll listen to the concerns of a physically challenged businessman. That is a story I really want us to look at this morning also. So I don't know how we find in the time, but we will do our best, all right? Now, the mantra of youth involvement in nation building is being realized on the sister island of Carriacou, where several infrastructural enhancement initiatives are progressing apace. Good morning to you, Sean, Del, and Cheryl out there in Carriacou. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Also to you, Gailey. How is Girl and Snowy? They good, right? Deedin, my good friend, condolences go to you as usual. You know, you've got to be strong. I know you are. Devon is going to take real good care of that. Good morning, Dev. Nice. My good friend, Mr. Brian Grimes, he was re-elected as president of the Public Workers Union to serve a second term. Grimesy. Yeah. I see politics in your future, you know, when I look in my crystal ball. All right, the squad announcement for CONCACAF Nations League fixtures against the U.S. on March 24th, all right? The Grenada Football Association has released its 23-man roster ahead of its CONCACAF Nations League fixture against Team USA, which comes up on Friday, March 24th at 8 p.m. at the Kurani James Athletic Stadium. Head coach Anthony Nixon Modest has picked a balanced team of youth and experience with 9 overseas-based players. 39% joining, that's 39%, and they're joining the squad from England and the United States. Locally based players such as Pure Grenada Cup top scorer Hurricanes SC's Kristen Julian and Paradise FC International Joshua Isaac, they got their call-up after recent grueling friendlies against Barbados, St. Lucia, and the La Joqueta Rangers of Trinidad. The experienced goalkeeper Jason Belfon, who has been playing in Antigua over the past few months, has also been called up. Joining the other locally based keepers on the team, Jeremy Richardson from Paradise FC International and Trishan Thomas of Queen's Park Rangers. Now, young Benjamin Etienne, who also plays with USL team Charleston Battery, and Aaron Pierre, who has had 15 caps with the national team, are in to strengthen the defense. In choosing the team, Coach Modest said the locally based players worked extremely hard and improved vastly in the physical fitness and technical skills following the friendlies, and that made the selection process tough. We know how significant this match will be, but Grenada senior men's team will not be a walkover. All right, that's nice to hear. Okay, so we look forward to these and more stories, as many as we possibly can during the conversation this morning. But quickly recapping the word of the day, apotheosis, and it's the perfect form or example of something, or the highest or best part of something. It can also mean elevation to divine status. And the thought of the day: negativity is when you always think of why it's going to fail. Positivity is when you always think of why it's going to work. Change your mindset to change the results. We take that break. We've got the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather here on K105. Those of you on GBN Television, we've got a rebroadcast of last evening's television news. So stick and stay with us. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.
When you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. Oh, I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me whenever you're in need. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever your road leads, we'll be right there with you. Wherever your road leads, we'll make your dreams come true. Next side, next side, next side, right next to you.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Thanks for joining us. Public servants have a new feature to look forward to from the middle of next month. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell announced last evening at a town hall meeting at Wester Hall, St. David, that they will be paid twice per month. It's a promise made during the general elections campaign last year.
When we say we will do something, we are going to do it. And I'm going to end on this note. On the 15th of April, 2023, we will begin the payment of bi-monthly salaries to the people who work for the government of Grenada. We'll also be using the opportunity to begin a process of financial literacy education courses throughout the length and breadth of Grenada. Because we need to understand money, we need to understand finance, we need to understand investing, we need to understand business, and crucially, we need to plan for retirement. Because too many of us live, and when you get to 60, you all of a sudden wake up and realize you don't have a job, you have no savings, no retirement plan, or anything of that sort, and you plunge back into poverty. So that is something we have to address as a nation as well.
Over the years, there have been calls for an increase in the frequency of salary payments, considering the country's economic situation. Some cited the U.S. remuneration system as a model which should be followed. There's a school of thought that says a frequent access to cash could stimulate economic activity. The Prime Minister labeled the move as promise made, promise kept.
All of the financial and fiscal initiatives that we said we are going to implement have been implemented, and they're on course. We said we were going to give a $10 subsidy on electricity bills for persons who consume up to 99 kilowatts. Said, done, delivered. We said we were going to grant 100% concessions for persons in the creative economy so that they can jumpstart their creative businesses, so that they can train and teach themselves. So said, so done. We said we were going to reduce the VAT on broadband and mobile data from 20% to 15%. So said, so done. We said we are going to increase the tax on alcohol and tobacco. So said, so done.
Well, the financial services sector came under scrutiny during last evening's town hall meeting. The burden of doing business with banks featured prominently. Beverly Telesford has that story.
The financial sector in Grenada is faced with a number of challenges, one of which is forced compliance to regulations imposed by foreign banking systems. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell explained this while responding to concerns about the banking hours during Wednesday's town hall meeting at the Westerhall Secondary School.
Our banks are being made to comply, and in my view, they are overzealous in their desire to comply with rules that are imposed on us by Americans and Europeans when it comes to our banking sector. That's the truth. All of these paperwork, the compliance, the over-compliance, the 10 pieces of ID, the wanting to know whether you have a utility bill, the reference letter, all of that is rules that are imposed upon us by organizations in North America, in Europe, that says, quote unquote, they are trying to prevent anti-money laundering, anti-terrorism financing, etc., etc. But you can go to Canada and open a bank account in 5 minutes. You can go to North America and open a bank account in 5 minutes.
According to the Prime Minister, the exorbitant requirements, that is proof of address, multiple forms of identification, etc., from financial institutions have become a detriment to the people having trouble meeting all of the requirements or those not bothering to go through the tedious process.
They have deliberately tried to brand us as high-risk financial destinations and make it very difficult for our own people to become banked. There are a significant number of persons living in the region who are unbanked, which means they do not have a bank account because it's impossible for them to open one. So if you're a fisherman in Guava and you live in your mother's home and you're going out to fish and you come back, they want proof of where you live. Well, it's your mother's house, so the water bill, the electricity bill is in her name. So what proof would you have? And what that means is then it leaves you out of the banking system, so you just spend the money. You spend the money, you have no savings, you have no credit history, you can't get a loan, you can't get a mortgage, And then what? You are already sowing the seeds of, and by the time you're 40, 50, 60, fishing is hard work. You have no savings, you have no retirement, you have no investment.
Prime Minister Mitchell explained the consequences of local and regional banks not complying with the foreign requirements. He said this is where financial literacy comes into play.
We as citizens of the Caribbean have to understand those things and be prepared to support our governments. Our universities and so on need to be able to be talking about those things, because our banks face what they call de-risking. Most transactions are carried out in US dollars, which means you have to have a relationship with a US bank in order to send and receive foreign monies and so on. And they are threatening to not allow our banks to have relationship with foreign US banks. And if that happens, it basically means you're locked out of the international financial system.
Commercial banks in the Caribbean saw long-standing banking relationships terminated due to the perception that financial activity with the Caribbean is high risk. De-risking refers to the restriction of correspondent banking relationships or business services from major global banks to certain jurisdictions due to concerns over money laundering or potential involvement in the financing of terrorist activities. Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
We continue to focus on news of a financial nature. This time we listen to the concerns of a physically challenged businessman. He has been speaking with GBN's Christina John.
Thinking to myself, and I'm hoping to God that the PM and others could find funding to try to assist us before the year has ended. Because there's an old saying, while the grass is growing, the horse is starving. And it's decades I have not found a job, and it's difficult.
Kimani Latouche, who is physically challenged. However, he did not let that get in the way of attaining full certification as an electrician and technician. Latouche operates his own registered small business repairing appliances. He says he has applied for the CES grant since last year, and during a recent visit to the office at the National Stadium was given this news.
It's only this week I received, I went to the stadium to find out, and it was like, oh, money's finished. Now I'm thinking to myself, this was not done properly. And if you're trying to, the government has a thing where they said they're going to cater for persons who are in need. Looking at my situation, I'm into small business. I have a registered small business. So one would have thought that I also have a physical disability or physical challenge. So one would have thought that I would have given preferential, or we would have given preferential treatment where that grant is concerned.
Mr. Latouche says he has been financially strapped and was hoping to secure government's assistance through the CES program to create a safer and more conducive workspace.
Basically, I need to build a workshop. I work from the veranda of my home. When the rain falls, it flies in, and when you're doing electronics, that's a no-no. We're talking about current, we're talking about water, that's a combination for death. So once there's rain falling, I don't do anything. Yeah. The costing of that, if my mind is right, it was something like $26,000, material and labor. Already was given some assistance from my family in the US, whereby I have at least 80% parts that I need in the house.
This is how he believes applicants and applications from the physically challenged people should have been handled.
How they should have structured this thing is that persons who would have applied through the Council of Disabled, those names should have been put in a folder and put at the head of the 2,000 plus or 3,000 plus persons that they would have applied. Because it's difficult for us to find a job on the job market. I'll be 48 this year, and for years I've been trying to find a job outside there. Show them this document in my hand here. This is going to still be a no-no. They're not going to look at this. They're going to look at me first of all before they see this.
He's is hopeful that some form of aid can be given to people like him in the not-too-distant future. GBN sought to verify the claims made by Mr. Latouche, and we reached out to a government official who referred us to advisor to the Ministry of Economic Development and Planning, Mr. Orlando Romaine. Efforts to reach him proved futile. Christina John, GBN News.
We turn our attention to a new development at the Citizenship by Investment program. The organization has announced the transitioning of its consultant into the role of Chief Executive Officer from the 3rd of next month. Thomas Anthony is a former commercial, retail and investment banker with 26 years experience working in banking and financial security sectors in Antigua, St. Lucia and Miami, USA. Thomas served in various roles, including financial advisor, portfolio manager and loans manager. He previously served as Chief Executive Officer of the Grenada Citizenship by Investment Unit from 2018 to 2019. Carleen Purcell, who has been acting as Chief Executive Officer since 2021, will continue in her substantive role as Deputy Chief Executive Officer. All right, before the break, this story coming into us. The members of the Public Workers Union have returned the incumbent Brian Grimes to serve as president for a second term. In validating his presidency, the members also returned incumbent treasurer Paula Phillip to serve for a third term. We can tell you this is a resounding victory for Grimes and the validation of his presidency. Back here at Television Center, there appears to be no limits to what some people will share with the public. In this age of social media, the new dispensation has called for different approaches. Law enforcers have found that they must also wade into territorial waters that were not previously within their purview. Let's get the rest of the details in this report.
Officers attached to the Criminal Investigation Department are reminding offenders that they can be sent to jail or pay a hefty fine under the Electronic Crimes Act. This comes as the RGPF registers grave concern about the increased sharing of videos with sexual content on various social media platforms. The weekend incident at a sporting activity has caused a pause and readying of the action button.
Gone are the days when the village took the responsibility in growing its children. Instead, what is fashionable these days is that an adult will observe a child involved in some criminal act, and they will look to capture that act and publish it, to send it out in the public domain. And most of the occasions is for sensationalism, really to incite excitement and to garner the whole public views as to what's been shared. This is very concerning to us because there are serious consequences and penalties to these acts.
That was Detective Randy Hall, who heads up the Criminal Investigation Department. He highlighted Section 10 of the Electronic Crimes Act, which is subtitled Violation of Privacy. It states that a person who knowingly or without lawful excuse or justification captures, publishes, or transmits the image of a private area of a person without his or her consent under circumstances violating the privacy of that person commits an offense. That person is liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding $200,000 or to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 3 years or to both. Hall says these matters will not be treated lightly.
If procure and obtain child pornography through a computer system, G, obtain access through information and communication technologies to child pornography. And it goes on further to brings out the penalty for that offense. In that case, it's an indictable offense, and meaning that matter is tried by a judge and jury. As we say here, it goes up to the High Court. And the penalty for this to a fine not exceeding $200,000 or to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 5 years or to.
These penalties are not only for sexual explicit videos with minors but also applies to adults. Repeat offenders can face up to 20 years in prison or made to pay $300,000. While this may not have been widely published, Mr. Hall disclosed that over the years a number of persons have been arrested and charged for the offences with the help of the Special Victims Unit.
2021, I think, child pornography, we had 2 victims basically. Violation of privacy, we had 11 victims, all right? 5 of which being under the age of 16. 2022 so far, 2022 last year, we had child pornography, we had 1 victim, violation of privacy, we had 13 victims, 3 being under the age of 16. And in 2023 thus far, we have no report of child pornography reported as yet. We have violation of privacy, 5 victims, and 2 being under the age of 16.
Putting legal application aside, Detective Hall reflected on the psychosocial impacts. He has appealed to those involved to refrain from creating and distributing these videos because it places a serious mental strain on victims. He wants that if people do not heed his appeal, there is a well-equipped and capable team within the RGPF that will enforce the law. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
The government is following the modern ways of the world. It's joining the digital movement as it looks for different methods to engage the youth. Cherry and Blackman Stephen tells us about government's step toward the online job market.
Advisor to the Ministry of Economic Development and Planning with responsibility for ICT and the creative economy, Orlando Romaine, has announced an initiative geared towards the country's tech-savvy generation as a means of employment. Addressing last evening's town hall meeting in St. David, Mr. Romaine disclosed government's plans to provide training and employment opportunities online for 10,000 people by 2027.
We'll do an introductory course into the gig economy, what it is, how you make money from the gig economy. 2, allow persons to be trained in key skills such as programming, graphics design, animation, content writing, digital marketing. And then 3, we're going to handhold persons in setting up their first gig account or freelancer account and landing and securing their first job, receiving their first payment in their account, after which they will go off on their own. So it's not just training for training's sake, it's training for job creation. And I'm really excited about this one. Within the next 4 years, by 2027, we're looking to train at least 10,000 persons and equip them to work online.
This falls under a gig economy program called Grenada Work Online.
And as you would have heard during the course of the week, there is a debate right now on the data protection bill, which is a key component of that transition. We also have in the process the electronics communications bill, which will also go to Parliament soon. Those bills are fundamental if we are to transition to a digital society because we need to protect our citizens. All right, we're also looking to strengthen certain key infrastructure, particularly connectivity and broadband, so that we can have the types of speed and internet connectivity necessary to drive a digital society.
Romaine also disclosed that the plans utilizing the online platform, including a digital national identification.
I know this may sound a bit spooky, but it is something that is quite necessary. If you try to go and open a bank account, you need several documents and you have to go back and forth to open an account. With a national digital ID, you would have all your identification on one application that can allow you to open a bank account in minutes.
The Deacon Mitchell administration is embarking on the Grenada Work Online initiative just as the world sees an uptick in the digital nomad phenomena. In contemporary usage, the term broadly describes a category of highly mobile, location-independent professionals who are able to live and work remotely from anywhere in the world with internet access due to the integration of mobile technology into everyday life and work settings. While this started many years ago, this became even more evident at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic and has grown significantly in its aftermath. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
The story to report: Grenada and other Caribbean islands are finally closing the intra-regional travel gap. With the COVID-19 collapse of Liat and subsequent reduction in services, leaders across the region have been scratching their heads about how to create interconnectivity. Today, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell led a Grenada delegation on a promotional trip to Barbados. As Rena Thomas reports, he also presided over an initiative which will result in increased airline service to Grenada.
With an aim to alleviate the issues faced with inter-regional travel and to create a suitable avenue for international travelers to come to Grenada, the Grenada Tourism Authority, with the assistance of government, has successfully secured additional weekly flights between Grenada and Barbados through Inter-Caribbean Airlines. As the relationship between the airline and GTA continues to grow, along with the needs of passengers, Inter-Caribbean has also made the decision to upgrade the aircraft traversing the route to a 48-seater. This was announced by Petra Roach, CEO of Grenada Tourism Authority, during the launch of the initiative on Thursday morning.
We had the Embraer 120, which has 30 seats, and now we have the ATR 42-500, which has a total of 48 seats. So we've got 18 more seats on each of the flights. And as I said before, we've got 4 days of the week where we have double daily service, so one goes out in the morning and one goes out in the evening, and then we have 3 days of operation where it's just once per day. But I think that, again, we're looking from a trade perspective, we're looking for diaspora traffic, we're looking for building out our tourism product, so we expect that in very short shrift we will be increasing that even further.
Chairman of Inter-Caribbean Airways, Lyndon Gardner, explains that the airline will erect a sub-office in Barbados to provide the best service they can.
This partnership offers new direct service between Grenada and Barbados. It will improve air travel connectivity and develop interregional tourism, an area that is vastly untapped. Experts have long lauded the great potential in tourism spend from within the Caribbean, but I'm sure the tourism bosses here will agree that direct flights offers more capacity and better scheduling will enhance Grenada's tourism success. Its signature cultural event, the Spice Mass, other major festivals and sporting events, including the upcoming Grenada Invitational.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell was among the first passengers to travel with the Inter-Caribbean 48-seater ATR 42-500 airplane. It made its first departure from Maurice Bishop International Airport to Barbados on Thursday morning. Prime Minister Mitchell expressed his excitement about being able to fly back and forth between the two countries in one day.
So I'm happy that I can get to Barbados today and get back today. Not so long ago, that was a routine, normal expectation that you could leave Grenada, get to Trinidad and back, leave Grenada, get to Barbados and back in a day. St. Vincent, St. Lucia similarly. So I believe this is the first step in that process. I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to continue supporting it. I'm happy to continue supporting in the Caribbean. I've said repeatedly, no one is coming to save us. We as a region have to save ourselves. And I really do want to commend you for being part of that process of beginning to save ourselves when it comes to air travel.
Inter-Caribbean recently launched its service to St. Kitts and Nevis. For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
The mantra of youth involvement in nation building is being realized on the sister isle of Carriacou. Several infrastructural enhancement initiatives are progressing apace there. One of the bigger projects involves the development of the road and drainage network in Hillsborough. Diana Isaac has been speaking with residents.
The intention is to allow traffic to flow easier while making it more comfortable for pedestrians.
Several infrastructural enhancements.
But I will compliment them. It's an excellent job. It's just more than necessary. It was needed for quite a long time. People have been turning a blind eye. Yeah, like I said, I was complaining. I said, if it was in America, a lot of people would have been government to be getting sued for having these things open. And I hope they do that with a lot of the box drain in Carriacou, because It seems that box drain will be everywhere, which is good for channeling the water, yes. But you have to remember protections for pedestrians. It's very important.
No, I think it's a great idea. I commented on the Facebook page on that. I think it's one of the best things. The bridge up there, the Brango Bridge, there is a bridge up by Hillsborough Government School up there. I think those bridges definitely need to be widened because it was a traffic hazard, an accident waiting to happen. So I think it's a wonderful idea. And we need to commend the government on that initiative because it is long overdue. You know, some of the roads. So I think it's a great idea.
It's a good job. It's a good job because a lot of people fall down in the hole. I fall down in the hole twice already. So it's a good job and continue.
Thank you very much. In terms of the widening of the streets, you think that the government?
That's very good because a lot of people can even walk on the side and cars park almost on the sidewalk. So you got a lot of space for people to walk now.
It is a very good work. And when I was in the island when I come and I see it, I was very pleased with it. It was because it was like it made the city look like it's something that was rejected. It was so when you do this now, you show more concern. The elder citizens, everybody have a freer access, and the road look like a more commercial road for the use around the town. So
the contractors, the ministry has been utilizing young contractors to get most of the work done. What's your take on that?
I support that 100% because the younger contractors now would show more interest and he give the youths a sense of purpose in the contribution in the development because they would show more vigor and they would show more interest and that is what I want to see. Give the youths a chance because the youths is the future. I defend the youths anyway, anytime, anyhow.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matheson, for your comment.
Diana Isaac, Public Relations Officer, Ministry of Carrico and Ethnic Affairs and Local Government.
Right. Art stimulates the brain and helps the mind to focus. This evening's I Saw takes us to the village of Grand Mall, where a local artist has installed an awe-inspiring piece. Take a look.
A beautiful mural is behind the lens of tonight's GPN I Saw. Senator Jonathan Lacrette commissioned the Nashon Jeremiah Arts team to create a stunning interactive mural on the grounds of the Grand Mall Preschool. Mrs. Princess Jeremiah, General Manager of Nashon Jeremiah Arts, said the mural has since been a spectacle to see, with visitors, community members, and other locals coming to the beach to marvel and observe it.
It's really an inspiring thing to be able to inspire these little ones, their creativity, both on the interior and the exterior. This school is a part of our art care program, and as a result, they're not only learning about art, but they're surrounded by it continuously every single day.
Principal of Grand Mall Preschool, Miss Angel Alexander, thanked the theme for the piece.
I would like to say thank you on behalf of the staff, the students, and the parents of Grand Mall Primary School to Senator Jonathan Lacrette the importance of this initiative in ensuring that the children have a beautiful environment to work with on a daily basis.
Send us your photo and video submissions via our WhatsApp line at 405-3052 or our other social media platform.
God bless you. This is Pastor Donnie McClifford, and I'm coming to the island of Spice. That's right. I'm coming to Grenada on Friday, April the 7th at 7 p.m. at the National Stadium. It's going to be a fantastic night of praise and worship that will bring glory to God and start a revival throughout Grenada. And I want to give special honor to all of the pastors that are working tirelessly throughout Grenada to make this possible. I come to pay honor to you as well. Don't forget, Friday, April the 7th at 7 p.m. at the National Stadium. Donnie McClurkin in concert in Grenada. I'll see you there.
Larry, I love the new home. Did you remember the tips we discussed?
As a matter of fact, they were very helpful. We always follow the manufacturer's guidelines, check for damaged cords, turn off electrical equipment before cleaning, and we never overload sockets.
And we always use a licensed electrician for electrical work and a certified technician for repairs.
GrenLink,
energizing our Grenada.
Shop at Southern Electrical for all your security camera needs. We offer a wide variety of cameras such as solar cameras with or without lights, 4G cameras, Wi-Fi and PoE kits, 4, 8, and 16 channel, replacement cameras for PoE, standalone Wi-Fi cameras, floodlights with cameras, watch cameras, pen cameras, and much more. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grandin, St. George. Let us help you with your security needs. Southern Electrical, best value, expert advice, quality products.
Health, are you ready? Good. At the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, we have prioritized as well as branded the year 2023 as the year of mental health and wellness. So we are extremely excited about it. Staff is excited about it. So thank you very much. Let's rock. Shift the paradigm. Mobilize and get back alive.
Grenada. This is the big one. The countdown has begun for the grand launch of Project Grenada Shifts. Safer, healthier, innovative moves for a transformative society. This mega event takes place on Thursday, 23rd March at Lassages Plainfield, St. David, with a massive health and wellness fair from 12 noon, a wellness walk from 5 p.m. led by Prime Minister the Honorable Deacon Mitchell and Health Minister Senator the Honorable Jonathan Lecret from the St. David Health Center to Lassages Plainfield. Fitness drills, health screenings, loads of entertainment, and much more, all powered by Wakati Sound System. So register early to get your t-shirts and paraphernalia by contacting the Ministry of Health on telephone 440-2649, extension 21021, or the St. David Health Center at 444-6249. Mark your calendars and join us. Move that body. Take full control of your health and wellness. This event is organized by the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via superb service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
For only the second time in history, the Spice Boys will battle the United States of America on home soil. On home soil. Grenada plays the USA in League A of the CONCACAF Nations League on Friday, March 24, 2023 at the Grenada James Athletic Stadium. Kickoff time, 8 p.m. Get your tickets now. $75 EC for the lower main stand, $50 EC for the upper main stand, $40 EC for the secondary stand, and $25 EC for the bleachers. Tickets available now online at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical in Grandad, Shirky's Bar opposite the bus terminal, Nixon Bites Gore, Shy's Bar Victoria, Calico's Sates, Maxie's Bar Grenville, and St. David Pharmacy. Grenada versus the USA.
Pulisic on the run. Pulisic has
Friday, March 24th, 2023 at 8 p.m. Be part of history.
Grenada James blazed the tracks at the National Stadium. Anderson Peters dominated at the same venue. Both were elite athletes before moving on to the international circuit. Grenada, the pursuit of glory has returned as secondary schools are back on the track and in the field. And GBN is here to shine the spotlight on our emerging stars. Join us for the live broadcast of the annual Intercall Games on GBN television. Coverage begins 9 a.m. on March 28th. 3 days, 74 events, 23 schools, 2 champions to be crowned. Republic Bank Inter-Secondary Schools Athletics Championship, March 28th, 29th, and the 30th at the Grenada James Athletic Stadium. GBN, with you, everywhere and anywhere.
Made possible by Guardian General Insurance, Rubis, get going, Dasani Water and Power Aid, and the National Lotteries Authority.
All right, welcome to the conversation this morning. It's 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, and I've got with me in the studio a gentleman that is, I always refer to him as a de facto member of the GBN. He's always with us, and he's no stranger to us. He is Mr. Nicholas Snagg. He is the president of the Grenada Association of Retired Persons. Mr. Snagg, welcome.
Good morning, Innocent. Good morning to the Grenadian public, whether you're on the mainland, the Carriacou, PD Martinique, or in the diaspora. We're all Grenadians. Good morning to you all. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing fine, and that's why I'm saying you're de facto member, because he's questioning me this morning. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Snagg is here to talk about, of course, GARP. That's the Grenada Association of Retired Persons, and not too long ago we had him and other persons from GARP. There was a gentleman, I can't remember his name.
Mr. Khan.
Mr. Khan, right? Mm-hmm. And they were talking about that consignment of health goodies that were donated to Grenada by an association out of Canada. Mm-hmm. And he's here to thank the Grenadian public for coming out and assisting with the disbursement and displacement and basically sharing out of the stuff.
Oh, right. Well, yes, that's basically what we did. A little history on GARP before we get going in it. GARP is an association of retired persons. However, it's not necessary for retired persons only. Yeah. We're looking for members. Once you're 50 and above, you're welcome to join our organization. Yeah? The organization was started in 2011, July 2011. So by the late Carol Vasquez, the past president. She passed away late 2019. And since then, I was acting president, and then I was voted in by the membership as a president. So we've now diversed ourselves, and we do a lot of things in the community. But one of the big items, starting back in 2018, we were approached by an organization, Canadian Heart Health Education, that they want to donate goods, health goods, to Grenada. And we were like, are you serious? And and we said, yes, we would love to. And then they started talking about the quantity of goods. And we were scrambling. What are we going to do with a 40-foot container of medical goods, equipment? Yeah. Not just goods, equipment, all right? We're talking beds, wheelchairs, oxygen, concentrators, all kinds of medical devices you can think about. And, then COVID came around. Everything was delayed, and then shipping became a real nightmare to get anything to move anywhere.
It still isn't back to normalcy as yet, huh?
Exactly, exactly. We go to the grocery stores, we go to the event, and say, we don't have this, it's finished, it's gone. Yeah. So, long story short, it took a better part of 3 years for that container to show up. Could you imagine? Yeah. We keep telling people about this, and one person mentioned to us, they said they thought we were joking. Seriously. Well, they told us they thought we were joking.
That's why I tell people Grenada is a now for now community.
Exactly.
You tell me now, give me now.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't look down the road.
No. So anyway, the container did arrive, and once you get something on the port, it's a challenge to get it off the port. That's another challenge. And we were not up to that. We had no idea what we were getting involved with. Fortunately, we met some really good people along the way. We met a gentleman, I'm not going to call his name, he's with the Ministry of Health, and he came in and he says, oh my Lord.
Yeah. It was a wow moment.
A wow moment, and he said, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do that, and we all saw this mountain so huge, and we said, how are we going to overcome this thing? We huddled as a group, and he says, okay, one step at a time. We kept knocking the gates down. We need to get concession from the Ministry of Finance. We got that. We need to get concessions for the goods coming off the port. He helped us so much. He went over and beyond. After hours, he was still working. He got us the trucks. He got us the labor to unpack the container, which you did not understand. Why we have to unpack the container and pack it back and then move the goods off? You look at me shaking your head like you've been through that before.
Of course.
And we were like,
yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't make sense, does it? To us, but
to them it made. But we had a manifest of everything that was in the container, and yet still we have to unload it. They have to inspect, put it back, then get the guys to take it off, put it on a truck, and transport it to the truck. As it would have it, the night it started raining. It didn't stop till about 5 o'clock that morning.
Murphy's Law, right?
So I woke up and I said, "Oh my God, it's raining. The field is wet. What are we gonna do?" We had some tents donated from Mr. Wakiti. Donated some tents so that we can protect the goods so that it doesn't get wet from the rain. Thank you, Wakiti, and your organization for helping us. And we had to get the truckers to get us some pallets to put on the ground. Right. So you see what I'm saying? It just kept building and building and building. Yeah. Long story short, some young men came from the countryside and helped us get the goods off the container, on the truck, off the truck, back on the truck to get it to the destination he had to do, all within one business day. We started from 8 o'clock. By 3:30, the last truck was rolling out of the Foodland parking lot.
Wow.
And all volunteers. Some people says, "Well, I need something. I have to go home with something." So we dipped into our own resources to assist some people. Yeah, we understand. Yeah. It's Grenada. Yeah,
that's why I said sometime earlier in the week, volunteerism is not really volunteerism anymore. It's volunteerism with a handshake,
with something in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
But we understood because these young men came out and they worked. Yeah. The recipients, we all the health stations you can think of in Grenada got something from us, either a bed, oxygen concentrator, medical equipment, supplies, the old age homes. We still have doctors coming into our office looking for different pieces of medical equipment that's on the manifest. Once they saw the manifest, they came looking for these type of things. They're still coming in, and so after that, now the contingent that sent us, they came into Grenada.
The folks from Winnipeg.
From Winnipeg, and they wanted to see these things in where we said it was. So we hired a bus and we went around to all the different homes, the hospital, and one of the homes in Victoria. As we were pulling up, we saw there's a garbage bin as we were approaching it. There's a broken wheelchair in there. There's a broken bed in there.
Okay.
So the matron said, "Well, here's the bed. The day it arrived, there was a body in it. Here's the wheelchair. The day it arrived, there was a bum in it." That's how needed these things were. Yeah. So they were shocked to see that it arrived and immediately was put into use. Same thing when we got to the Maribor Hospital. The director there was saying the same thing. The beds arrive, the generators arrive, and here it is. It's being used. It's nothing put away in a storage area, anything like that. Arrive, into use immediately.
Yeah, it wasn't luxury, it was necessity.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Grand Bar Medical Station, same thing. Bed is there and there's patients in it. A wheelchair is there and there's a patient in it. So they got a sense of what the need was and how urgent it was, and it was immediately put into use. So with that, you know, I am here today to say thank you to all the individuals, and they knew who they are and what they did to assist us to that point. And we're talking almost $1.2 million EC worth of equipment. A lot of people thought that we were joking when we were talking about this thing.
Sounded too good to be true.
Well, sometimes it is, but this time it turned out to be really good.
It depends on who you hear it from.
Obviously, sometimes, but we also got equipment all the way out to Carriacou too.
Wow.
Yes, that did happen.
That's the part that impresses me. Mm-hmm. All right, because very often my Caracunians, brothers and sisters, Pidimacnicans, they get left out from things on the mainland. So that's very
yeah, exactly. We made a point of getting whatever the Caracunians asked for as much as possible to them, and we put all our efforts into ensure what they asked for from the manifest. We put it aside to ensure that we got it there, and we did get it there. It didn't go the same day, but obviously because of time. But the next day was transported to them, and it was, again, immediately put into use. Nothing was put away and say they're storing it for use later.
Did you get to visit Carriacou as well?
No, they did not get to visit Carriacou. The time was against us, and some members had other commitments to attend to. So, and these people pay their own way to come, yeah. And the Canadian International Hope Canada is the umbrella group that facilitated most of this. So when we got the goods arrive, the goodly gentleman that I spoke of earlier that assists us, he says, I have a secret to tell you guys. I says, what's the secret? He says, yeah, the manifest says used equipment.
It's not used.
Everything is in a sealed, brand new manufactured seal box.
Wow.
Yeah, everything in there. Yes, some of the things, the wheelchairs and the beds and stuff like that was used, but medical equipment, it was new equipment in sealed containers. So a doctor taking it can go straight into an operating theater and use it because it is brand new. It is nothing used about it. Yeah?
No need to go and sterilize and treat and so forth for a while.
Exactly. Wow. Exactly. Right? What are we doing now that we've gotten this out of the way? We do health fairs. When I say we do health fair, we partner with our nurses and our doctors, our resident and SGU students on the island to do health fairs. We have a health fair coming up this month on the 23rd of March at the Oriza Car Park. We've teamed up with Oriza to do that. And if you don't know your numbers, if you're a business person, you must know your numbers.
You must know your numbers, yeah.
If you as an individual, you must know your health numbers. Yeah. Your blood pressure, your diabetes, your blood pressure, you name it. You must know what your numbers are. Yeah. If you don't know that, you're starting off on the back foot. COVID taught us that.
Yeah.
Very rough. Yeah. And we have a very high incidence of NCDs in Grenada. Yeah. So we need to pay attention to our health. So this is one of our efforts that we're very dedicated to, is to run these health clinics. And we have a troop of nurses that's dedicated to us. And they come out, volunteer the time. Some of them work the night before, and yet still they show up and do 3-4 hours with us. Go home and do the regular stuff and report back to work.
Work the night, yeah.
You understand? That's commitment. Yeah? And it's volunteer. They're not paid. We provide a little lunch and something to eat to sustain them while they're with us. But however, they do it on their own. Yeah? So on the 23rd of March, come down to the Oriza Car Park in St. George's. Get your numbers checked. You name it. There's doctors there and everything health, so that you can leave there with at least knowing what your baseline is. So if something starts to happen, you can carry that to a health station and says, hey, I was there on the 23rd, this is what the numbers are, check it now. If it's something different, then we know we have to do something different.
Gotta deal with it.
Yeah. And I would like to speak directly to us men, especially men that's over 35, 40 years old. What's the state of your prostate? When's the last time you did a PSA test? I mean, Dr. Martin, my good friend, I call him my friend. We're not really friends, but because of he speaks so much about this, and he's gotten it into my brain that any man I come across, I tell him, you need to pay attention to this. Yeah, because I have a family member recently passed away from that. Yeah, and it's not a pretty thing to look at. It's not a pretty thing to look at. So know what it is now. Check your PSA, get your test done. I know what those numbers are and pay attention to it. And every year go and do it. Yeah? Because it can change that rapidly. for you. So, and if you do your PSA, you know what condition it is, and if it's rising, you need to take a little further into invasive tests.
And having said that, I had both Dr. Francis Martin and Dr. Martin Francis. Yes, Devon Francis rather. Both friends of mine on previous programs. And the sad thing about it, so many men are dying from it, but it's so treatable.
Exactly.
So treatable.
If it is caught early,
It's treatable.
you can live a long, healthy, productive life.
Can be corrected. If
Yes.
It's caught early.
If it's caught early, but it takes you to take the initiative. Yeah, the doctor is not to come in your house and drag you out and do the exam. You need to go and seek it out. Yeah.
I had reservations as to the methodology of doing it with this finger thing. I had
The
a
digital
problem.
exam,
Right.
yes.
And in a health program I was hosting, Dr. Francis said to me, he said, "Why would you rob your family of your life expectancy for a procedure that takes just about 5 to 10 seconds?" And when I thought about it, I said, I'm going to do it, and I did it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm sure that put your mind at ease.
Of course.
It is a relief.
Yeah, when he said there were no noodles there, I said, good. I said, good.
Right. So you're a testament to let other men know who's listening to us, who happens to be in that age bracket, to pay attention to us. And if you have reservations, speak with the doctor first before the exam, and they would gladly explain everything from start to finish to you, and proceed with it. And I really hope that a lot of us men who's listening today will take the opportunity to pay attention to that, and go ahead and get the exam. In terms of people who may listen to us and says, okay, how do I get in touch with you guys? Well, we have a couple of phone numbers if you don't mind. The office is open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. We have an office manager, and the phone number there is 435-9857. I repeat again, 435-9857. We have a mobile number that you can use for WhatsApp, 405-6507. That is also available for you to communicate with us via that method. Emails is Grenada.GARP, GARP 2011 at gmail.com. I repeat again, Grenada.GARP, GARP 2011 at gmail.com. You can use those methods to contact us.
And your office, GAP's office, is opened every day?
Every day.
Monday to Friday?
Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It is located on the Kearney James Boulevard. That's the new name for everybody who know the Mang, the Lagoon Road. It all depends how far back you want to go. For the younger folks, that is the right next to the Foodland. Foodland on the same Kearney James Boulevard or Lagoon Road, the car park, the white building. We used to have a tent there, but the tent got a bit tardy
Did I say Carnage?
Yes, you did.
What's wrong with me? What am I drinking that I...
Yeah, you had too much water this morning.
Definitely.
You're right. So we're located right there. So we do have how most of the funds that we generate, believe it or not, comes from a little shop that we have called Once and Again. It's a thrift shop. If you're looking for classic design clothing, if you're looking for something you need that you can't seem to find, even if you're a construction worker and you're looking for some clothes that not necessarily that you want to spend all that money, for little as $5, you can get a pair of jeans or something like that.
So that's what happens on Saturdays when I pass on.
No, what happens in Saturdays under the tents? We encourage some of our members to come and sell items that they may have, right? Some people will get barrels and they have some nice hand creams and stuff like that. Some people have clothes that they want to sell. So it's a way for those members to generate some income for themselves. Yeah, they give us a stipend from for the use of the space. And that's the way we are. But our thrift shop is where we generate most of our income from that. little thrift shop. Yeah. So if you're looking for something, come in once and again, and you'll be surprised at what you may find there.
Quality and everything.
Correct. The other day, a gentleman came in and he bought a whole bunch of CDs, and I was like, okay, who plays CDs any longer? He says, well, I have a CD player and I play a lot of CDs.
Okay.
Yeah, and he somebody had was cleaning out and he came across all these CDs and they brought them in, and he just went through, and I think he left with about 3 or 4 bags of CDs of music that he was looking for, and he got them. Somebody came in the other day with a Sony Walkman. When's the last time you saw one of those?
Walkman still exists.
Exactly.
Yeah. Should be in the museum.
Exactly. And he went and purchased some batteries right next door at Foodland, put it in anything, and it worked.
It worked. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So all those little things, people, they're looking to diverse themselves off. Instead of putting it in the garbage bin, they would bring it to us. I'm not saying we're looking for garbage, but they would, once it's a working something and somebody's going to come around and see it and
somebody
say, hey,
needs it.
Exactly.
Somebody needs it.
Right. Yeah. We do operate a soup kitchen. We call it a soup kitchen, but what it is, we provide meals to the underprivileged shuttings. Kenya was on a little bit of a down low. Donations and stuff was a bit slow coming in, but it's starting to build back up again. And we're going to be starting that up. It's next month. We work very well with the Gren Case people.
Okay.
They identify first the people in need, and then we proceed to help them with that. Excuse me.
All right. Well, sounds well. Sounds good. So, folks, some key points here to remember. All right. It's the Association of Retired Persons, but you could be employed once you're over 50.
Correct.
All right. And there's a registration?
There's a member fee, $100 for a year.
Okay.
Less than $3 a day.
A day, all right. Okay.
So you come in and once you're a member, we have discount programs that you can be taking care of.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, this is anything you want to say in closing? Any pertinent point you think we left out?
Not really. I think I talked a lot. I'm starting to lose my voice here.
Okay. Well, be careful with that.
Yes. No, I just want to remind people that the health fair on the 23rd of March, to come on out and take part of that, and visit our offices with a thrift shop, make a purchase. That will go directly to helping us do the different things that we do. We need to pay the electric bill, we need to pay the rent, we need to pay for the internet and all those different things. And we also partner with the TAMCC, so we have a lot of the TAMCC. We try to bridge the generational divide. Yeah. So with those students coming in, meeting the elders, we all get a chance to interact with each other, and we get a chance to interact with the younger people and get a sense of where they are and what their thought patterns are, and they help us a lot. For one of the things they're doing for us right now is reaching out to all our members, just a touch point.
Okay.
How are you doing? You okay?
Wow.
Everything is good with you? Do you need anything? And you would be shocked with some of the things that come back to us from those simple
that makes
phone
such
calls.
a difference. Huh?
It does.
It makes such a difference.
It does.
I say to people all the time through this media here that, just say a good word to someone and you might be surprised to know you change the whole perspective on life.
I constantly encourage our younger people to do that in the sense that you pass this elderly person's house every day. Have you ever taken the time to say good morning, good afternoon? Yeah. Do you know what that does to the human spirit?
Yep.
Yeah? It lifts you up. You could be having a real terrible day. You should be quite a number of pain. As we get older, all these things starts to happen. Yeah. And just by you saying good morning, hello, how are you, can ease so much of that. Yeah? The stress of life. Yeah, it can be overburdened sometimes. And you just take a kind word.
To light a candle.
Exactly. And to ease that burden that you may be carrying. Yeah?
These are some conversations that we need to have, but it's not for this morning.
Okay.
we said enough for this morning.
Great.
Yeah, so it's always a pleasure having you here with us as you outline the work that such an important organization as yours is doing. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been speaking with Mr. Nicholas Snagg. He is the president of the Grenada Association of Retired Persons. And as he says, check out their office on the Lagoon Road next to the Foodland.
Yeah, car park.
Car park. And check out their thrift shop. And join it. You know,
yes, we're looking for members. Yeah,
mostly men too. Besides, yeah,
exactly.
Men, we need, you know.
Yes, come on forward and take up a mentor.
I'm here to sign my name on the dotted
line. Well, you're a member.
Yeah, I am a member, of course. I am a member. I'm just here to sign my name on the dotted line. So, Mr. Snagg, thanks again for dropping by, folks. Remember, they've got the health fair coming up on the 23rd.
Correct.
Of March at the Ariza Car Park. That's in downtown St. George.
Right.
Right, St. George's, and it's free of cost. Go on there, get yourself checked, get your status checked, get your numbers checked. And we're not talking your self numbers or your internet IP address. We're talking about your BMI and everything like that. So go on out. It's all free. So go on out, be a part of it.
Thank you.
Snagg, it's always a pleasure talking with you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Right. Folks, we take a commercial break. We'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
Island Style's annual Easter clearance sale is here, and boy, do we have some exciting deals for you. Massive savings on tiles to be had with discounts from 10 to 35% off on all tiles store-wide. Buy all we have in the low stock model and watch your discounts skyrocket with a huge 15% off. Plus, get chip edge tiles for as low as $1. Yes, we're clearing out our old stock to bring in the new. And that's not all. The Easter Bunny has added extra savings on tubs, bathroom vanities, tile tools, and so much more. It won't get any better than this. Jump on these excellent deals and visit our Island Style showroom on Monroe Road in Grandans or call 439-TILE. That's 439-8453. Sale ends Holy Saturday. When you think tile, think Island Style.
WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
Health, are you ready? Good. At the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, we have prioritized as well as branded the year 2023 as the year of mental health and wellness. So we are extremely excited about it. Staff is excited about it. So thank you very much. Let's rock.
Shift the paradigm. Mobilize and get back
Grenada. This is the big one. The countdown has begun for the grand launch of Project Grenada Shifts. Safer, healthier, innovative moves for a transformative society. This mega event takes place on Thursday, 23rd March at Lassager Plainfield, St. David, with a massive health and wellness fair from 12 noon. A wellness walk from 5 p.m. led by Prime Minister, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, and Health Minister Senator, the Honorable Jonathan Lecret, from the St. David Health Center to Lassager Springfield. Fitness drills, health screenings, loads of entertainment, and much more. All powered by Wakati Sound System. So register early to get your t-shirts and paraphernalia by contacting the Ministry of Health on telephone 440-2649, extension 21021, or the St. David Health Center at 444-6249. Mark your calendars and join us. Move that body. Take full control of your health and wellness. This event is organized by the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs.
And so it begins. A journey like none other. Every moment has the potential to be unforgettable. Bring home a piece of the tropical green forest with every emerald. Capture the sparkling light of flawless water in a diamond. Make the sunrise and sunsets last forever. With precious colored gemstones, the essence of happiness is in our most precious memories. So, when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will last forever. Colombian Emeralds International. bring home more than a memory.
Welcome to the highly anticipated second season of Caribbean Medical TV, the first and only medical TV series that showcases the Caribbean and the emerging issues on all health and wellness forums in our region. Like season 1, the voices of our very own citizens, our local and regional doctors and medical experts forged the basis of the show. This season, we take the first groundbreaking original show even further. This series aims to empower our people with knowledge, from ways of detecting to ways of healing ourselves, protecting citizens with chronic diseases from COVID-19, while showing how they can manage their conditions effectively and safely receive needed health care while preserving what constitutes the very core of our Caribbean culture, its predilection for flavor, spirit, and rhythm. This is truly a holistic wellness agenda for our Caribbean people.
All right, viewers and listeners, welcome back to the conversation. Once again, I want to say thank you to Mr. Nicholas Snagg for sharing with us this morning. And to those of you who went out and assist with the initiative from GARP, I thank you very, very much on the behalf of GARP, and your volunteerism was much appreciated. It's 8 minutes on to 8 o'clock. That's the time. What conversation can we have this morning? And let me see, what would you like to talk about? Financial sector concerns. The financial services sector came under scrutiny during last Wednesday evening's town hall meeting. The burden of doing business, that's one of the featured. Which of the, as a matter of fact, I don't think we have sufficient time to engage any deep, meaningful conversation. So as my good friend GT would say, the line is open. We have a caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Innocent.
Welcome.
The number issue that came up here, which I think was very significant in relation to the town hall meeting. One of it, I want to commend the authorities for agreeing that we need to attend to that. In fact, I think I raised it on to the point recently, and that is about customer service. This is really, there's a great need, not just in the public service, but also in the private sector. I mean, the way people deal with one another, I mean, needs a lot to desire. Part of it, we have to also consider the situation with people. I mean, people are under stress, yes, but that doesn't mean that you have to pass on your stress to other people. So that is one. So I welcome that. And if there's any way I could assist, I'd be more than willing to assist in them, because we really need to get this thing right.
Okay.
And then the other one has to do with health and safety and the way workers, the condition workers work in this country. And maybe that's one of the reasons why you have poor customer service. So we welcome that also. And it's time that we make things suitable for people to work in condition that they're not going to get sick, they're not going to be stressed out and so on. So I don't want to take too much time, but And there are other issues that came up, but I think, and I agree with you, we shouldn't try to rush through things, especially important topics. Thanks.
Yeah, all right. Good, man. Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
All right, good. 5 minutes on to 8 o'clock, 435-2041. June Chateau says, good morning, Innocent and all. Have a great day. And Jackson, are you saying that anyone can walk in, for example, with $50,000, have no ID, and that's okay? I don't know what is that conversation about. That's on our Facebook page. Marva Nelson says, good morning, everyone. And Veronica Sandy, good morning, Gordon Innocent Joseph. So she says, good morning, everybody. All right. And Jackson, did Grenada suffer from the collapse of banks in the USA? And she says, just asking. Madonna Dossett says, good morning to my Grenadian people. Good morning to you, Madonna. Alexandra Velez says, good morning, Grenada, and good morning to all my granddans. Massive. All right. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Innocent. Good. How are you doing?
Not bad at all. How about you?
Jamming on the show.
All right. You're jamming like Bobot?
Yeah, man. Listen something. When it comes down...
Caller? Can't believe I lost that caller. Okay. Well, I know the gentleman. He'll do his best to reconnect with us. 435-2041. Let's see how much we can get into. All right. Okay, caller. There's someone trying to call via the WhatsApp platform, and we said that time and time again. At the moment, that our technology doesn't allow for we reconfiguring, so you've got to bear with us on that. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Innocent.
How are you?
Not bad. Innocent, this is a month of the that we remember the 44th anniversary of the revolution. A lot of people wasn't around. But with respect to everyone lived in, was the worst period, 1983, 1983. And I wish that we never, Grenadians, have to go through that again.
Okay.
Innocent, there's no justification for violence. When you talk about Bishop, how he overthrew the people that say you hate him, Bishop came in by the gun. He lived by the gun, and he died by the guns. When Bishop came in, he squashed the Constitution. That's the first thing he did. So when you squash the Constitution, you have no rights. They arrest people. How much people go in prison? Over 3,000. The amount of atrocities that man committed, people had to flee Grenada. They take people's property. These are the things that, what are we teaching our children when you have a government that illegally that come in by violence? The justification that Morris say about this and that and the other for the clue was wrong, because long before Innocent, guns were being imported in the country in Greece, barrels of Greece. We forget that somebody that was held accountable and they still respected them can't go back to the States because they are fugitive from justice.
Okay.
So I am saying to you that there's no justification, and people must teach children not to use violence. People must teach children to walk away from confrontation and peaceful means under no conditions. Because he had about 2 years again, he could have waited for election. You had no right to overthrow, to use. I don't know if you all remember there was a barracks of soldiers, they used to call them green beasts in Blue. You burn the barracks down. A lot of people get burned. Yes, about 3 escaped and they was killed. And you call bloodless. He was the worst era ever lived was during the revolution. The worst leader was Morris Bishop. That man was the copy of Satan, the Lucifer.
Okay.
And I hope Grenadians never have to go through all this thing. And all this thing about good and thing. I'm going through that.
All right.
Because all this so-called good, I could challenge that. Because all airports, all them things got started by Gary and NIS, that the credit and marketing board, even marketing board was started in 1983, I understand, in Gary time.
Okay.
But it didn't have any importing. It was to do with farmers' produce. But I am saying, when you say people, he's a hero, how could you take a gun? Oh my God, the man coming violent, he got illegal government. Come on, it was wrong, and I condemn it.
Okay, caller.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day. Have a good day. All right, Lindsay, thank you very much for that observation, all right, and I'll work on that. Alistair Warwood Sr. says, one of our soca artists came out with a song about our customer service. Yes, it's Kelly Klein, Rootsman Kelly. I'll drop it after the news. Ernesto Jose says, good morning, Guilty. The Honorable Tevin Andrews will be in Brooklyn this weekend, so Grenadians in New York City, please come out and meet him on Sunday on 48th Street. All right, not 42nd, right? 48th, okay. And Ragbasin says, okay, I ain't talking about, all right, somebody's calling all programs and talk about Bishop, so sad. All right, folks, this is as much time as we have allotted this morning with the conversation, and thank you very much for being a part of it for the entire week. This is our final one for the week. Thank you for your participation, and we look forward to your engagement next week, should the good Lord spare our lives. I'm faithful enough to believe that I'll be here. And so thank you very much. Enjoy. Those of you who have to leave us now, enjoy your day. We've got to join the BBC. Bye for now.